So when it comes to forming new relationships, it's not always a difference of opinion or incompatibility that can pose the biggest challenge. It can actually be fear.
This one is really interesting and probably not surprising to you. A lot of people tend to let the fear of rejection stand in their way. And this goes for potential romantic partners, for friendships, even relationships at work. So here were some tips to overcome that fear. Licensed therapist and author of Manifesting, Jaime Bronstein. Love the title of your book. Thanks for being here. So in your book, you talk about these feelings of fear and how they kind of make us create a negative narrative about ourselves, about what's going to happen. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so negative narratives are any stories that we're telling ourselves about ourselves, but they're fear-based and they're not the truth. And they can come from anywhere, from our childhood, from ex-relationships, and they just are not the truth, but we buy into them, and then we let them rule our lives. So they're just very detrimental to our lives.
So I know when you're working with clients, you have a way of helping them take their fear and turn it into something positive, which is key, but not easy. I mean, how do you do that?
Yes, so I like to call it compassionate self-forgiveness. You identify what is that limiting belief that you're buying into. Is it I'm not worthy of love, I'm not good enough? And then you shift it into what is the truth? Because the truth is who we really are, and the truth is who we are before life and negative experiences got in the way. So you just need to do that little shift, and it takes time and practice, but it is life-changing.
And what are some examples of the things that you can say to yourself instead of saying, I'm worried like this is going to turn out horribly, or this person's not going to like me, or this is going to crash and burn? What are the things that you should be saying instead?
I love that you're bringing this up because fear can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm. Because life gives us what we focus on.
Yes.
So if we are focused on the fear that the relationship's not going to happen, the fear I'm not going to meet my person, the fear I'm not going to meet my man, the fear the relationship is going to end, the fear I'm not going to get that job.
Yeah.
That is what you're focused on. That's what life will give you. Versus you want to focus on, I believe and I trust that whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. I believe that the relationship will continue if it's supposed to happen. And if it's not, I will be okay.
It's like lucky girl syndrome. Believe it's going to be good, and then it becomes good.
For a lot of people, though, I mean, you're talking about negative experiences. It can be a traumatic experience that can lead to the issues that they're having, the fear that they have. What do you do about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so trauma, and we all experience trauma, big T, little t. And what I always say is, you don't want to live in the past. You don't want to be in victim mode. You want to be free from your past. So the way to healing is just getting back to your authentic self. Like I said, that self that you were born as before life and everything got in the way. And this is not easy work, but it is possible. It's available for everybody.
Where do you find those resources to help you walk that path? And I think you're so right about living in the past. That can cause a lot of depression. Living in the future can cause anxiety. But living in the present, this is Gina, our hairstylist, said that's when you're the happiest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is so real. We want to be present so that we can manifest everything that is already out there waiting for us. Because living anywhere else is, like I said, detrimental. It's not going to be helpful to live in the past or the future. We want to be present because that is the place from which we manifest.
You talk about the importance of healing. We know that's important, but it's easier said than done. Talk a little more about how important that is and how do you heal?
It is so important because let's say you're manifesting love. You want to heal these unresolved issues because if you don't, you'll be showing up not as yourself, and then you'll never attract that right match for you. If you're in a relationship and you have these unresolved issues, you're going to be showing up as that with trust issues, with whatever kind of issues are going on, and it's not going to be an authentic relationship. So the key is you always want to heal. And there are always ways to do that. There's inner child work. There's this work shifting from the negative narratives to what the truth is. There's lots of ways you can do it. And my favorite is the compassionate self-forgiveness, which is forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and shifting from anything negative into the truth.
All right, Jaime Bronstein, author of Manifesting. A really interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
We do have to learn to forgive ourselves.
I know.
It's not always easy to do, though.
I was just going to say easier said than done. But it's good to, I think, say those words out loud and then begin that process.
Exactly.
All right, well, you are watching NBC News Daily.